We should note President Trump won Texas pretty handily by about 14 percentage points. So you don't need every Trump voter, but you need a big chunk of them. Around 1 million Latino voters in Texas were voting for Trump. Do they all have slave mentality?
No, and that's not what that said at all, to be clear. It did not say that every Latino has that type of mentality.
No, but the ones that vote for people who believe in strong or Trump's immigration policies.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, our friendly neighborhood ghetto Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who is now running for U.S. Senate in Texas, went on CNN thinking she was just going to go on there and announce she was running. But the host, Jake Tapper, I can't believe I'm saying this, actually ended up pressing her. He confronted her on her previous racist statements about Trump supporters and also gave her a pretty brutal reality check that in order to win in Texas as a Democrat, she's going to need Trump supporters' votes. And I think Jake Tapper just realized, man, yeah, she's actually dumb. None of what she was saying made any sense at all. This was her campaign launch ad, and she thought she did something. She thought it would be like, hey, a black woman getting insulted by Donald Trump. But all it does is prove Trump right.
How about this new one they have, their new star, Crockett? How about her?
She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett. Oh, man, oh, man.
She's a very low IQ person.
She thinks we're shivering in our timbers right now. Here we go, boys and girls. This is the golden part where Jake Tapper confronts her on the racist comments she made about Latino Trump supporters, many of which are in Texas.
Let me tell you, let me ask you about a quote that you've made that has some Democrats worried about your ability to win statewide. In a December 2024 Vanity Fair profile, you talked about, quote, and I'm going to read a lot of the quote just to put it in the context, quote, all the complexities within the Latino community. The immigration thing has always been something that has perplexed me about this community. It's basically like, I fought to get here, but I left y'all where I left y'all, and I want no more y'all to come here. If I wanted to be with y'all, I would stay with y'all, but I don't want y'all coming to my new home. It almost reminds me of what people would talk about when they would talk about kind of like slave mentality and the hate that some slaves would have for themselves. It's almost like a slave mentality that they have. Now, about the time that that was published last year, around 1 million Latino voters in Texas were voting for Trump. Do they all have slave mentality?
no, and that's not what that said at all, to be clear. It did not say that every Latino has that type of mentality.
No, but the ones that vote for people who believe in strong or Trump's immigration policies.
So I don't believe that the people that voted for Trump believe in what they're actually getting.
That was good from Jake Tapper. Keep pressing her, man.
That is number one. What Trump said is that he was going to kick out the bad guys. And that's what I was talking about. I've been down to the border. I've been down to South Texas. I've campaigned down there. And so I am talking about exactly what was going on when I was down there on behalf of the Beto campaign. In fact, when he was running for governor, I was sent as a surrogate. And I said, talk to me about what is going on. Why is it that they believe that they can win Latinos down here? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And there were people that were saying that they had fought and they had done everything the right way, and that there were bad people that were coming that were doing it the wrong way. And so they were saying, no, we left. And I mean, when you think about people that are leaving asylum.
Look at Tapper's face. He's not buying any of it. She very clearly said, how can you be a Latino and support Trump's immigration policies? And now she's trying this pivot. Oh, what I really meant was my eyelashes got did and my nails got did.
Areas and situations that they feel like are harmful to them. So yes, they're like, no, I don't want to be in this dangerous situation. And that's what I meant. But at the same time, I knew what Trump meant because Trump had a record. Trump had a record of locking up kids and putting them in cages.
That actually started under Obama.
So I knew what Trump meant. And so that's why it wasn't making sense to me. And ultimately right now, I just came from a joint hearing that we were having on the Senate side. It's the Senate as well as the House. The first time I've had a joint hearing ever since I have been in the House. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to Latino American citizens that have been arrested by this regime. Some of those people may have voted for Trump. I don't know. But they agree that what he's doing now is wrong. And it's about right versus wrong and not right versus left.
She is so corny. It's about right versus wrong. Not right versus left. Okay, you're a profound scholar. This is the part where Jake Tapper gives her that reality check, like, hey, you're going around insulting Trump. How are you planning to get Texas Trump voters to vote for you? And she has no plan because no such thing can happen.
Last night, you told Laura Coates on this network that you don't need to get all the Trump voters in order to win the Senate seat, assuming you win the Democratic nomination. We should note President Trump won Texas pretty handily by about 14 percentage points. So you don't need every Trump voter, but you need a big chunk of them. Explain the math to me. How does any Democrat, but especially one who is progressive and outspoken, how do you win over Trump voters?
So this is what I want to tell you about. There's two things that we need to talk about that are separate things that I think both of them are necessary to win. Number one, we actually have to turn out more voters. If you do the research on the state of Texas, we typically rank the lowest in voter turnout, period, in the country. We've got to get that up. I want to say the most recent one that I remember, maybe a little over 50% of people turned out. When we looked at Georgia and we saw Georgia go blue, what they were able to do is they were able to get more people to participate. So that's
No, they cheated. They've been using this turnout line forever in Texas. It's going to be purple. We just need more Democrats to turn out. Well, 2020 was a big turnout election, allegedly. Same for the 2024 election. I imagine turnout in Texas was higher than previous elections in general. How did it get blue? In fact, if anything, it got redder. Democrats have this weird thought in their mind that if more people vote, we win. Do you realize how many Second Amendment lovers and hunters and Christians don't vote? We're talking about tens of millions. If you raise turnout across the board, those are the people that are going to be voting the most. Democrats are already high propensity enough. It's the conservatives that like to stay at home. Because unlike leftists, conservatives need convincing to go vote. They need a real stake. Liberals will vote blue no matter who. I wish we were more high propensity, but it's just the way things are right now. So when she says, oh, if we just raise turnout in Texas, it's going to be blue. How many times are they going to use this line? The people in Texas have proven time and time again that they don't want to be blue. Why are you forcing yourself on them? They gave no consent.
Number one. So for me, it was always about expanding the electorate. Number two, this is a great talking point that we have heard over and over and over, that maybe you need to sound like a Trumper so you can get Trumpers to be on board. But what we know is that there were Trump and Mamdani voters. There were Obama and Trump voters.
You're describing populist. The reason you had young New Yorkers wearing MAGA hats showing up to Mamdani's victory party who voted for Mamdani is because he was an outsider, they felt. Even though he was actually in the city council, he felt like an outsider because of his different politics. He wasn't an Andrew Cuomo, and that made him different. Barack Obama ran as a populist. He said, we're going to build this new America. It's going to be great for everybody. And then he got into office and became the most racist president ever. He divided the country badly. And the Obama people who felt like they got duped went to Trump. Someone tell her that she doesn't have the intellect of a Barack Obama, nor the charisma of a Zoran Mamdani. You're Jasmine Crockett. You're known for dangly earrings, eyelashes over here. Woo! You're known for weave wigs. That's what you're known for. And saying y'all and speaking Ebonics when you grew up in white suburbs. You're known for being fake. Trump, Obama, Mamdani could not be more different from each other, but they all ran as populist.
Or AOC and Trump voters. So a lot of people want to distill this down into something as simple as, oh, it's progressive or it's this. But the reality is that people vote for who they believe in. They vote for the people that they believe really care about bettering their lives. And what we know is apparent is that a lot of people have been turned off by Trump. When we look at Tennessee, I'm not asking you to look far north or over in California. When you look at the red state of Tennessee, he won that seat by over 20 points.
Lady, when Trump isn't on the ballot, the Republicans struggle in general because the Republican Party has no charisma. You guys see Trump arching his back? It's hurting from carrying Republicans all these years. That's why Republicans struggle in Tennessee or in the recent Miami mayoral election. Republicans struggle in general when there's no Donald Trump on the ballot. It's when Donald Trump appears on the ballot that people get excited. And the Trump White House team, namely Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, said they are going to put Trump's name on the ballot in November next year. They're going to campaign like it's 2024. People are going to come out as though Trump is on the ballot.
When you look at Mississippi, they flipped 2 Senate seats. When you look at Georgia on November 4th, they elected 2 Democrats statewide. So what I am saying is people are finally saying, you know what, even those that voted for Trump, because there's plenty that regret it.
Yeah.
And I think that those people would be more willing to listen at this point. But I think you've got to expand the electorate, and you got to talk to anybody who actually says, you know what, he played us.
Jake Tapper doesn't believe anything she's saying. There's this intrinsic understanding on the left that someone like a Crockett is just a crazy person, and she's not going to be able to convert voters to the left. To Texans, she's going to be a radical Democrat that wants to append the way they do things. Texans don't really have a reason to disapprove of Trump's presidency. I understand if someone in California, points to blame at Trump for the decisions of their local state elected and city officials. But if you're in Texas, you have the lowest gas prices in the country. You have historic job growth. So while companies are laying off employees in blue states, in Texas, you have jobs everywhere. Rent prices are down because red states don't prevent builders from building. You can literally get an apartment in Austin right now for $1,000 a month. You'd be living in a major city for $1,000. Texans are also feeling safer with the border finally sealed after 4 years of an invasion. Localities aren't having taxes raised to take care and accommodate thousands and tens of thousands of illegals. There's zero reason for a Texan to be like, you know what I want to do, y'all? I'm going to vote Crockett. No. Thank you all very much for watching. God bless and goodbye.